Welcome back to Toffee Booze, your source for all things Everton. I'm Ollie Hayes, and today I'm bringing Everton news 24/7 for the 29th of January. So let's get straight into it. Obviously, today's headlines will probably be mainly centered around the January transfer window, obviously ticking very close to that deadline now. What is it, like 3 or 4 days now until the deadline? But we'll start with the headline. It's from Tuto Sport, and they've reported that the Freaking Group will give David Moyes and his team around £33.5 million to spend on two attacking players this window. And a shortlist has been drawn up. Taiwo Awoniyi, Hamza Igerman, Marcus Edwards, Evan Ferguson, and Brian Brobby are all players that are on that shortlist. Obviously, there's been a lot of links to a lot of those players this window, mainly Hamza Igerman, Marcus Edwards. Obviously, the rumblings of Evan Ferguson have been ongoing since, the turn of the year and the turn of the January transfer window. Brian Brobby's one that's maybe come out of the blue a little bit. That's, mainly was West Ham that were interested in him. But Taiwo Awoniyi is definitely a new one. That's one that hasn't really cropped up at all this window. So we asked your thoughts about Taiwo Awoniyi to Everton over on an X poll, and of around 3,500 votes, 51% were in favour, 25% were unsure, and 24% were against him. Again, I'm not really sure, to be honest, on this one. Obviously, at this stage of the window, I don't think you can pick and choose what kind of player you're getting in. Obviously, we are scraping the barrel now, with not very long to get a striker in. With the Dominic Calvert-Lewin injury, especially, we only have one fit striker, so you are going to pay a high premium whoever you get in. You will have to pay a big fee for Taiwo Awoniyi from Nottingham Forest. Obviously, he is the second choice striker behind Chris Wood these days. But that being said, Forest are looking to keep their run going at the top of the table, and they'll want as many bodies in their squad as possible. So as I said before, you will be paying a high premium for him. And is he of the required standard? I'm not fully sure. I feel like you'd be better just playing Betto and sticking with him to the end of the season, and hoping that a player like Yusuf Chamiti can come back to full fitness and start staking his claim. But again, I'm not too sure on that one. I'm not too sure if that's really a positive link. Obviously, as I said before, you will be paying a lot for him. But again, let's just see how this one develops. Obviously, as we tick towards the deadline, we are going to have to make a decision on a striker at some point. So if it is Taiwo Awoniyi, we'll just have to get behind him and hope he can start putting the ball in the net towards the end of the season. But Tuto Sport have also reported that Everton are on the verge of finalising a deal for Hamza Igerman of Rangers. Obviously, we do have to take this one with a bit of a pinch of salt. They are an Italian source. They might not be too clued up on what's going on with Everton. But that being said, hopefully a top source does confirm that, because as I said before, and in recent news videos, Hamza Igerman is a player that I did think we would be looking at this window. I think he's a decent player. He scored a decent amount of goals for Rangers this season in all competitions. So I think this one is probably better suited to us than say a Taiwo Awoniyi. But again, as we tick towards this deadline, we're just gonna have to see what striker comes in potentially, and even if a striker does come in at all. But elsewhere on incomings, the Chronicle Live, they've reported that Everton are interested, and they've been offered the chance to sign Besiktas forward Semi Kalixoy. Obviously 19 years old, and he's been valued at 16 million. And discussions have taken place between the two clubs. Sunderland, Aston Villa, and Arsenal are all reportedly interested. I did a bit of digging on him because I'm not too clued up on him. I wasn't too clued up on him before the link. 2 goals and 6 assists in all competitions this season. So again, it's not great viewing, it's not great numbers, but these kind of players sometimes they come to the Premier League and set the world alight. So if we were to sign him, fingers crossed he did exactly that. But again, as I keep saying, we are just gonna have to see how these deals develop, and if a decision is made on a forward player very soon. But we'll focus on outgoings now, and back to Tuto Sport and their report. They've reported that Torino are finally confident of securing the Betto deal after upping their offer and submitting a new £15 £15 million offer. Some people may say he was worth £15, but no, £15 million is the offer that Torino have submitted, and this offer is a loan with an obligation to buy 5 million up front and then 10 million over 2 years. So I think it would kind of offset what we did pay for Betto, a couple of seasons ago. I just can't see Betto leaving at the moment, in my opinion. I just can't see him leaving, especially the predicament we've got going on up front. He is our only fit striker, if you take out of the equation the youth players. So again, I just can't see Betto leaving. In the wake of the current injury crisis, I might be wrong. He could leave before the end of the window, but I think unless we sign someone and maybe two or three come through the door up front, I can't see Betto leaving, in my opinion. But again, I could be proved completely wrong, and he could be on a flight to Italy in the coming days. But in my opinion, I think we do just have to keep hold of Betto at least of the summer, and then assess his situation there. But I've been talking about the injury crisis. I've been talking about the injury news, and there's some more injury news, and it's the one we feared really. Journalist Peter Jan Kolken and Roman van der Pluijm, they've reported that Orhan Mangala has suffered a torn cruciate ligament in his knee and his season is now over. Again, this one's just such a shame. It's one that we massively feared with Orhan Mangala. He was really starting to stake his claim in the squad. He was starting to put in consistent 7.5, 8 out of 10 performances in an Everton shirt. And to see his season over and probably means we won't sign him on a permanent now. I think that's just such a shame, a real disappointment, because I was really I was looking forward to watching him grow in an Everton shirt and really stake his claim and maybe, have the potential of us signing him permanently. But again, because of this injury, it probably doesn't look like that's going to be the case now. But that is all for today's news headlines. Let me know your thoughts on the potential incomings, and then also the Betto deal. What are your thoughts on that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But again, it's the injury news which has probably overshadowed the entire video about Orhan Mangala. So let me know your thoughts on that. Would you, if the opportunity presented itself, would you try and sign him on a permanent still, or would you kind of let him go back to Leon and part ways amicably? But that is all from me today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.